All right. What is going on, guys? We're back at it again with another episode of TruCapacity Team Chats with your boy, Brett Owens, larger than your father, and James Gillespie over here. Today, we're going to talk about getting back on track. Now, this could be after a breakup. This could be after Thanksgiving. This could be on New Year's. This could be after you got hammered. This could be after you've been out of the gym for a while, right? Or off your meal prep journey for a while. Realistically, we all have those times in our life where we do not do what we need to be doing, right? And we've got to get back on track somehow. And so we want to break down how to do that. So I guess, Brett, kick us off with top recommendation for somebody that has fallen off that you would give for them to get back on.
I guess first things first, and it's something that we kind of start with just about every time we talk about something like this, and it's just having a goal. Like, what is your goal moving forward now? So first thing you need to do is figure out what that is. If it's losing weight, maybe you were at a comfortable weight when you were hitting it pretty heavy and going after it pretty consistently. So if you have like a comfortable weight that you felt good at, maybe that's where you need to start. That's the goal you need to hit. If that's, losing weight, gaining weight, getting stronger, maybe you have a PR, your PR is super low because you haven't trained strength for a while. Whatever it is, just having a tangible goal that you can get to as soon as you can, as soon as you start in.
Yeah, goal setting is definitely important. Probably SMART goals would be the way to go. I think secondarily, though, after you have a goal, and maybe it's the goal that you let go of and you stopped paying attention to when you did fall off, I think that you got to understand before you start writing out the plan of how you're going to do it and what you're going to do and all the things that you're going to add to your day-to-day, you got to understand that small steps will help you win, right? Progress over perfection. One small thing at a time. And that could literally be, hey, I'm going to commit to 5 push-ups a day. Hey, I'm going to commit to 3,000 steps a day. Hey, I'm going to commit to showing up to the gym 3 times a week. Like something that is so easy to do and almost too small to fail, I think is a way to go first. Because it's very easy to say, well, I used to rack, set to 20 at 225 on back squat. Oh, I used to do, slant board, knees over toes lunges with 185 on my back. Like I used to do XYZ. No need to be a has-been, right? No need to be I used to be able to do XYZ. How about we just look at where we're at now? You probably, if you've been out of the gym and you've been off your health gains, you've probably not been stretching. You've probably not been working in much activity. You probably haven't been walking, probably haven't been looking at your nutrition, hydration, paying attention to your sleep. A lot of things have probably fallen off, and that's okay. I'm not here to judge you. But I am here to say that if you try to jump in and go too hot, too fast, you will burn out, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to get back on the path and found yourself like a week or two in and been like, this isn't sustainable?
Yeah, a lot of time, especially early on. And I just had a conversation with like one of my best friends. He's come to me over and over and over and over about, like he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start doing this, this, and this. I'm going to hop into it and whatever. And, 2-3 weeks go by, he hasn't read his book since he started, or he hasn't done his walks or his runs. He hasn't gone to the gym. And I told him straight up, I was like, listen, man, you need to find one discipline, whatever it is. Maybe it's the gym, maybe it's reading, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's stretching, but you need to have one discipline and commit to that one discipline hard for a week. And when you can confidently do that for a week, add another discipline. Or maybe it's a couple of weeks. I don't know. Everybody's different. But 1 week, then add on another discipline. I mean, it's just like what you were saying. But these small incremental changes, you got to prove to yourself that you can do it first. And then once you can make that one change, every other change after that is so much easier. So then you can start stacking things because you prove to yourself, okay, I can do this. What's next? And then you do that and you're like, okay. And then your confidence gets up and then you're like, okay, well now I can go to the gym. I can start allotting time. It's like, it becomes more important to you.
Yeah. And I think that the notion, and I would say you take more than 1 week or 2 weeks to do something before you add something else.
Fair,
I would say
yeah.
compound interest is what you're looking for, right? You cannot achieve compound interest if you don't put deposits in, There's no way, right? And the output is, it's not linear, right? You put $5 in, you don't get $5 out. Same thing here with your health, right? If you consistently put deposits into the health piggy bank, as Andy likes to talk about, you're going to get, albeit maybe not exponential, you're going to get much more out than you put in, right? Assuming that you make it to the time in your life, right? Quantity in years, where the fruits of your labor can be realized, when a lot of other people are dealing with sick care, right? But I think that the thing that we, the place that we get, as coaches, as clients, as, just humans walking around, is that, we play all or nothing, right? And we don't focus on the one thing. We don't focus on day by day. We don't focus on our achievements either. Before we hopped on here, you and I were talking about a client of yours that we're not going to name, that is struggling, right, with weight potentially being up and down and fluctuating, not feeling like he or she is in a position where he or she is making progress. That's just not the case when you stretch out the time horizon, right? When you look at it from the macro view, not the daily view. Anyone listening to this should know, right, if you didn't already, that when you're on a health and wellness journey and you're trying to lose weight, and really lose fat, not lose weight, trying to improve your lean skeletal mass and go that direction. I'm not trying to get in the weeds, but you're trying to lose fat, right? Your weight is going to reflect oftentimes an up and down and up and down and up and down. It's going to look like a seesaw for a bit, and then you're going to hit a place where you have a cliff. But your line of best fit, right, from the starting point to today, if you're doing what you need to do, will be going the right direction. It'll be in the direction that is going to put you in the best position to succeed long term. And so getting back on track requires you to forgive yourself for falling off in the first place. If you have, whether it be guilt or shame, if you hold on to that and you apply that back to yourself day in, day out while you're trying to do better, you're not going to get anywhere at all. I was listening to an Alex Hormozy video the other day. We was talking about, you can punish, you can extinguish, or you can praise, right? And he was talking about what they do at acquisition.com. And I think it's very interesting, right? If you run negative self-talk every time you miss something, all you're doing is adding extra pressure, which in the short run can produce an outcome, right? Because you're like, oh, never going to do this again. And next time you think, oh man, I don't want to feel bad again, I'm going to do it this way. But does that actually give you a position and a place to succeed in the long run? I don't think so. I think that what that does is that reinforces behavior patterns where you're trying to run away from punishment as opposed to running towards pleasure. And I get, from a sales perspective, there's more motivation there, and psychologically that's better. And I hear you. And macro, right? Understanding the consequences of inaction is important, extremely important. But punishing yourself day over day for not hitting things that you set out to do, I don't think is beneficial at all.
Yeah.
Not for the long run. Not if you're not trying to just, for the next 6 days fast and be super lean walking into Costa Rica. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
go ahead.
What's up? No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say your past is doesn't define who you are. Just like what you were saying. I mean, it's in the past for a reason, right? If we're moving forward, the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. All we can control is the now.
10 toes down. 10 toes down. And so then the question, oftentimes when I make that assertion to clients, and maybe happens to you too, when people are like, well, then why does it matter? If it's just about the present, then why does it matter? Because there is no future, there is no past. Gotcha. Totally hear you. Totally hear you. Don't try to justify shitty behavior just because you think that can be used to your advantage and then disregarded when it's not what you need to be looking at. You want to use it to your advantage to make bad decisions that are not in line with what you decided. We didn't give you your goal. You decided your goal. But then you want to throw it out when we're like, but just stay 10 toes down because your weight today doesn't matter. Your weight in the aggregate does. So you want to use it when it helps you, and you want to throw it out when it makes you feel bad.
Right.
Okay. Come on now. At the end of the day, you're trying to get back on track. Often you have been on a journey where you've had to get back on track. I've been in the same place. I mean, I'm probably less fit than I was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and even less fit than I was the year prior. Why? My priorities have changed, right? I'm still working out. I would probably say in the top 10% of health in the world, right? Based on how stagnant everyone is and and how sedentary everyone is. But it's not where I necessarily want to be. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh man, because I can't sit down in a squat clean the way that I used to. It's not useful to me to do any back squats, any front squats, because I just am not as strong as I used to be. Come on.
Yeah.
That doesn't serve anyone.
Right.
Right. And I want to keep this actionable. So, and I don't want to monopolize the time. If you had to give a recommendation for somebody, whether they get a coach or they're doing it on their own, or they're just struggling a little bit and maybe don't want to talk to anyone about it. I mean, 3 action items that if you couldn't recommend anything else to somebody that's struggling mentally or physically with trying to get back on the track, what would you give them?
Okay, so hydration's key. So I like to say, 2 to 4 liters of water roughly. I mean, honestly, 4 liters is probably a little much, but I mean, like somewhere between 2 and 3, maybe 2 and 3 liters of water a day.
It's a lot of water, dog. That's
I
a lot
know,
of
but
water.
just staying on top of your hydration, that's one good action that doesn't require a whole lot of energy. Your As far as nutrition goes, start with 100-gram protein goal. That's what we do with everyone. We start at 100 grams. If you can't get there day one, that's fine. Work your way up there and then slowly progress over time. Maybe that 100 will turn into a 110, 120. And depending on who you are, raise that number up as you go. And then just trying to get in at least, I mean, just start by walking for 20 minutes at the very minimum. Take 20 minutes out of your day. You have 20 minutes. If you could put your headphones in, listen to this podcast and go for a walk and you'll be good to go. But that's one part of the exercise side of things that you can take action on today.
Yeah. And I'd take those 3 things and I'd probably underlay, right, or underpin the notion that small steps will get you there, right? It might not look like a full hour and a half workout today. You might actually not even like working out today. That is all right. That is absolutely all right. Start with something that is too small to fail. Walk through your threshold. Maybe it's a push-up. Maybe you don't have push-ups. Maybe it's a bench supported or seat supported push-up or a wall supported push-up, right? To start. Small steps in anything, right? If you eat no protein right now, trying to get 20 grams at a meal will get you to 60 a day, eating 3 times a day. Start somewhere. 1 is always greater than 0. But if you continue to delay the 1 in any area here, you're never going to get to goal. That's like literally the only way to ensure that you never hit it is that you just quit. And so my recommendation would be that you don't do that. You don't have to get coaching with us. You don't have to get on one of our programs. You don't have to pay us a damn dollar. And you can opt into everything that Brett and I have to give out for free forever and never pay us anything. But goodness gracious, if you could just pay attention a little bit and do what's right for you, it looks like more activity, less shitty food, right? And a little bit more paying attention to the things that you're letting in your brain and you're letting in your mouth. And if you do those 3 things, you'll be in a different spot. And if you want more tactical, right, not strategy, tactical, then do what Brett's talking about. The water, the activity, right, and the protein goal. Those are measurable, and those are easy to track, especially if you have MyFitnessPal and you have $5 a month to pay for the scanning feature. Then you can scan any of our recipe books, and the recipe will populate. You can scan literally any food, and it'll come up.
Yep. You just got to prove. You just got to prove to yourself you can do it, man. That's it. I think
go ahead.
You just do one of those things, just one of those disciplines. Just get used to doing those and prove to yourself that you can do it. And then the more you do that, the easier this stuff goes. And then eventually exercising becomes fun because you're good at it.
Yeah. Most things are not fun when you're terrible at them.
Yep.
But we all started from day one where we didn't know what the heck we were doing. So start today. And if you need some help, even some free advice, our DMs are always open. We have the most amount of lead magnets ever where you can get measurable change from just what we're handing out. I promise you that. If you just followed our guides, without paying us anything, you can get a lot of places, right? And that's what we strive to do. So if there's any kind of stuff that y'all want to hear, any topics you want to hear us cover, or any areas you want to see us roll down, holler. Brett is on everything at Coach Brett Owens with underscores, right? He's on Twitch at Bretro Games. He's on YouTube at Bretro Games, although he doesn't really post. And yeah, we're always happy to help you out in the Facebook group, which is where this is being live streamed right now. If y'all need anything, comment below wherever you're watching this and ask a Q, and we're happy to go over it or send you a DM privately if you would prefer. So hope everyone has a great rest of your day. We're going to go ahead and stop the live recording there, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Good. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, you had some really good points in there for sure.
Bangers.
Yeah. Solid.